nominate Honorable Tajuddin Abbas.
I so second.
I rise to humbly accept the nomination.
Is hereby declared the winner and returned elected as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
As lawmakers reconvene, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin promises to prioritize the economy, education and security.
A litre of fuel selling as much as 1,200 in some states of the federations.
And lingering fuel scarcity worries House members to engage key players in the petroleum industry. A warm welcome to this week's edition of House Tickets, your window into the workings of the House of Representatives, Federal Republic of Nigeria. The House reconvened after about 6 weeks of recess on Tuesday, 30th of April 2024. This episode of House Ticket will bring you a report of proceedings during plenary upon its resumption. We also have a report of the 2 days retreat on economic transformation and development organized by the House in collaboration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service as well as the Konrad Adeneur Stiftung Foundation. Why don't you sit back as I take you through this report after this short break. Keep watching.
Hi, about that. The House will pay priority attention to participatory budgeting process and delivery, law reform, electoral reform, women's participation and inclusion in governance, among others.
Welcome back. On Tuesday, 30th April 2024, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin welcomed his colleagues to the hallowed chamber, which after 2 years of renovation stands renewed and transformed. He extended his appreciation to the federal government as well as the architects, engineers, construction workers and all personnel involved in the project. According to him, their hard work and persistence has ensured that the chamber is not only visually pleasing, but also equipped with state-of-the-art facilities that befit the dignity of the institution.
This modernization includes advanced technological systems to enhance legislative activities and improve acoustic and seating arrangements to facilitate more effective debates and discussions. As we adapt to these new enhancements, I urge each member to fully utilize these facilities to improve our service delivery to the nation. It is our responsibility to make the fullest and best use of this space by rededicating ourselves to legislation that prioritizes the welfare and well-being of our people and our nation. As the maxim goes, to whom so much is given, much is expected.
He equally acknowledged with profound gratitude the recent feats recorded by security forces in some parts of the country, most especially in Borno and Katsina states, where many terrorists and bandits were neutralized and weapons recovered.
Despite significant progress in improving security, recent happenings remind us of the task ahead. The gruesome and dastardly murder of military personnel in Ukwama in Delta State highlights the risk faced by those who continuously put their lives on the line for our defense and security. While condemning the killings, the House commiserates the families of the fallen heroes. We urge security agencies to leave no stone unturned to bring the perpetrators to justice. Similarly, we urge everyone involved to exercise restraint and allow the law of the land to take its course. I wish to specifically commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for personally leading the funeral of the gallant patriots and awarding posthumous national honors to all the 17 of them. His gesture of scholarships and houses to the families of the slain military personnel is equally highly laudable.
Speaking on the economic front, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin said the government has made significant strides towards improving the economy by implementing several measures to stabilize the economy, enhance productivity, and boost investor confidence.
Also, targeted actions have been taken to alleviate the inflationary effects of this reform on the most vulnerable. The Central Bank of Nigeria has also taken critical steps to tighten monetary policy and refocus on its core mandate of maintaining price stability. It also hiked interest rate by 400 basis points to 22.75% to contain inflation and ease pressure on the naira. I commend the governor and his team for their proactiveness and focus. Going forward, however, there is a need to implement more measures that strengthen the value of naira in the long term. This includes implementing policies and initiatives focusing on value creation, on multiplication and expansion.
The Speaker added that other positive measures taken by the government include the launching of Nigeria Consumer Credit Corporation, which ensures that citizens are able to afford basic items without necessarily paying out of pocket, as obtainable in advanced countries of the world. The scheme, he said, supports essential purchases like homes, vehicles, education and health care, which are crucial for maintaining stability and achieving personal aspirations. With that, the House settled into legislative business for the day. House Tickets continues with events at plenary for the week, adopting several motions alongside other matters of urgent public importance. Let's get details in our next report, as compiled and presented from our studio. The report.
On Tuesday, 30th April 2024, the House voted and adopted 3 matters of urgent public importance, one of which was moved by Representative Umar Shehu Ajilo. It was on the urgent need to address the current lingering fuel scarcity in the country.
The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited says to address the perennial and persistent fuel scarcity problems posed by Nigerians despite the volumes of resources at its disposal. The Speaker, most worrisome is that all these economies have made the lives of average Nigerians unbearable, with a liter of fuel selling as much as 1,200 in some states of the federations. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the 10th Assembly must rise to these occasions to ensure that lasting measures are taken to address these unfortunate and embarrassing situations permanently in the interest of all Nigerians.
He called on the House to invite the Minister of Petroleum and other relevant heads of the Petroleum Ministry to ensure a way forward.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
The motion was voted on and adopted.
I rise to move a motion.
Similarly, Representative Kama Nkem Kama moved a motion on the need to look into increase in electricity tariff.
The alarming tariff increase announced by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission NEC on April 1, 2023, resulting in a staggering 300% rise for certain consumers. However, what's more concerning are the reports indicating discrepancies in customer categorization and widespread complaints regarding the inadequate service despite increased charges. This situation has not just sparked national anxiety, but also threatens regulatory certainty and investor confidence in the sector, demanding immediate attention.
The lawmaker called on the House to constitute a special committee to work with the House Committee on Power and liaise with the Ministry of Power and other relevant stakeholders in the power sector to find a practical solution.
Those in support of this motion should say aye.
The motion was voted on, adopted, and referred to a special committee to be duly constituted. Meanwhile, 25 bills were presented for first reading. They include Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Bamidele Salam, Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1991 Alteration Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Daniel Asama Agu, National Agency for Artisanal Petroleum Refining Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Kingsley O. Chinda, Nigerian Anti-Kidnapping Exception Agency Establishment Bill 2024, sponsored by Representative Sani Egidi.
Many thanks for staying tuned to House Ticket. Last week, the House of Representatives, in collaboration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service and Konrad Adeneur Stiftung Foundation, held a 2-day retreat on economic transformation and development towards effective implementation of the Petroleum Industry Reform Act 2021 and tax reforms modernization. The event took place at the Abuja Continental Hotel on Tuesday, 30th April and Wednesday, 1st May 2024, with a theme, Navigating Change, Legislative Strategies for Economic Transformation. Declaring the retreat open, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, stated that the current administration is implementing significant policy changes to reform how Nigeria is governed and position the country for progress and shared prosperity for all citizens. He also added that the reforms being undertaken were necessary and long overdue. He appreciated the support of the lawmakers, expressing confidence that their continued collaboration will make them overcome challenges that lie ahead.
The oil and gas industry has long been the lifeblood of our national economy. This administration is working tirelessly to change this and diversify our economy from over-reliance on the production of fossil fuels. However, we are also determined to maximize revenue potential from this critical industry. For this reason, Mr. President says that we are pushing policies to attract investment in the oil and gas sector. He wants me to remind you that recently, he signed an executive order to unlock about $10 billion in fresh investments in the sector. This will happen through fiscal incentives for non-associated gas, midstream and deepwater oil and gas developments. And this he did. Again, he says that just last week, the federal government of Nigeria signed the consolidated guidelines for implementing fiscal incentives for the oil and gas sector. The guidelines, which represent a cornerstone of the presidential directive, aim to enhance the Nigerian oil and gas sector's global competitiveness while stimulating the economic growth.
The president also noted that related to the oil industry are the reforms the administration is implementing, the nation's tax regimes to limit the taxes collected without negatively affecting government revenues.
Since its introduction into our lives, the love of oil.
In his remarks, the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Obot Akpabio, commended the Speaker of the House for always coming up with initiatives and ideas that will foster good governance and promote economic growth.
Similarly, our President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is determined to bring the Nigerian family back together in unity and prosperity. It is an honor to have him here today, of course represented by the Chief of Staff, as his leadership and vision has so far inspired all Nigerians. His unwavering commitment to the progress and prosperity of our nation is evident in the program so far brought out and so far implemented, and we are privileged that he was able to declare this retreat open. So through initiatives like this retreat, we bury party affiliations and come together as one with a common goal, advancing our nation's economic prosperity and ensuring a brighter future for all Nigerians. Through initiatives like this, we will equip our legislative bodies with practical tools and strategies and enable them to effect meaningful legislative and oversight functions.
The Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, in his special remarks, expresses satisfaction that the legislative retreat was taking place at a point in the nation's economic landscape when the current administration is diligently implementing policies and initiatives to steer the economy towards recovery, growth and sustainable development. Speaker Abbas stated that the commitment and foresight shown by the government in addressing economic challenges deserve commendation, adding that it is imperative as legislators to align their efforts to support and enhance them. He added that the retreat is aimed to foster stakeholders' engagement, ensure constructive dialogue, exchange ideas and offer insights on legislative strategies that will contribute to the economic transformation of the country.
Accordingly, this forum allows us to take a deep dive into the tax reforms instituted by President Tinubu and undertake a review of the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. We consider these two initiatives vital in our nation's quest for economic recovery, transformation, and growth. The two areas speak to both the oil and non-oil sectors of the Nigerian economy.
In his welcome address, the Deputy Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu, stated that the Parliament will develop a clearer roadmap in its role in the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act (PIA), adding that as representatives of the people, it is pertinent for them to ensure that the law is used for the overall benefit of the citizenry. He said that the PIA represents a significant milestone in the country's journey to reform its oil and gas sector, which has the potential to unlock vast economic opportunities and guide Nigeria towards a more prosperous and sustainable future.
This retreat provides a critical platform to strategize on how the House of Representatives can ensure the successful execution of this landmark legislation. Lawmaking is dynamic, and the PIA should be seen as a foundation to build upon. It is important to use this retreat to consider avenues to improve the legislation further, to ensure it incentivizes more foreign direct investment, that is FDI, in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. By enabling a spirit of continuous improvement, the House can ensure that the PIA achieves its ambitious goals.
The Petroleum Industry Reform Act.
Goodwill messages were presented by stakeholders.
The Petroleum Industry Reform Act 2020 will represent a watershed moment in our nation's history. With its passage, we have laid the groundwork for a more transparent, efficient, and competitive petroleum industry. This legislation opens the door to greater investments, innovations, and job creation. However, its true impact will be realized through effective implementation. As representative of the people, it is incumbent upon us to ensure that the provision of these acts are translated into tangible benefits for all Nigerians.
The legislature plays a critical role in tax ecosystem by enacting enabling legislation, ensuring effective and efficient administration through oversight functions, and advancing advocating for taxpayer rights and interests. The synergy between the legislature and other stakeholders is crucial for translating policy aspirations into tangible outcomes that benefit all Nigerians.
To me, this retreat is not only timely, but is apt. Anything that will bring improvement to the economy of the nation, I think is a welcome idea. At this point, I congratulate the Honorable Speaker and his team for putting this program together. We are looking forward to recommendations that will really move the nation forward. not only in terms of economy, but in terms of entire development.
We have critical and serious national issues.
In his vote of thanks, the leader of the House, Professor Julius Ihovere, appreciated invited guests, development partners, as well as stakeholders present at the retreat.
We are grateful that you've been patient, you've been here, and we urge you to stay with us. We have critical and serious national issues to discuss, and it will be good to be here to hear your ideas.
Petroleum Industry Bill Administration.
The first technical session during the retreat was facilitated by the Chairman House Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, Representative Alhassan Adodogwa, and the topic explored was towards effective implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act 2021, the role of the legislature, as well as tax reform in Nigeria and the legislature.
We took the PIA, Petroleum Industry Bill Administration Bill. We took the fiscal, and we also took what we call the host communities, believing that some of the most controversial aspects contained in the bill should be put behind us to be able to actually get somewhere to start this very robust legislation, which was actually needed for a very good operation and governance of the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. This is one bill that was not only critical, but is quite fundamental for us to now operate as an oil-producing country, to be able to share, to rub shoulder to shoulder with other oil-producing countries in the OPEC and even beyond.
As legislators, we are not bothered too much about policy. The truth is that we should be looking at the laws we pass, how it is implemented. And because the society itself is organic, our laws too must be organic. Things you think are relevant today, with the advances in science and technology, by tomorrow, they are obsolete or outdated. And so the laws have to be an organic instrument that keep moving. When trends in the society change, they should capture them.
It is your law already to oversight this law, please, implementing of the law across all MDAs. What are they doing? Have they published their requirements? Is it available to Nigerians? Are there timelines? Please, we need you to oversight. It's a game changer if it's well implemented. The president has been going all over the world. He was in India, talking about investment in Nigeria, talking about removing bottlenecks, talking about removing bureaucracy. Please, we need to support this, oversight this law.
We'll continue talking about the money side, money coming in. How about how it is going? Costing or pricing. Are we getting value for money, what we spend? Because we may be busy collecting more money and it's going down the drain because the costing or pricing is so fraudulent, is so bad. This is a critical area to look into. How much is a kilometer of asphalt road in Nigeria compared to another country's same environment? How much is a kilometer rail track in Nigeria compared to similar environment? All these issues are important for our executive and legislature to actually look into.
That's it on House Tickets tonight. Hope you've been updated on the activities of the legislature for this week. Many thanks for staying through to the end. Do join us again for a fresh edition next week.